Charles, it's your very favorite thing ever.
Yeah, noise and the Puerto Rican Day Parade. Right near Trump Tower.
That's pretty funny. I mean, we'll let people soak this in. It's going to be difficult to hear anything.
Yeah.
Is anybody saying anything Trump related, or it's just all Puerto Rico?
This is actually 43 years ago. I started work at Dillon Reed the day after this parade.
Oh wow!
And I don't know that we need to get into a lot of discussion in this noise, because I wonder if people can even hear us.
I think so.
Okay. And this actually is not as crowded as I've seen it in the past. It's crowded.
Yeah.
But there are years when it's so crowded you cannot get through the sidewalk.
Oh, I know. I'm surprised it isn't like that. But this is sort of the heart of the parade right now, right?
Yeah, and if you lived in Trump Tower, you wouldn't be very happy at this minute.
What if you were Puerto Rican and lived in Trump Tower?
That's a big if. But I also thought it'd be fun to switch out the hats, because Hillary's merching.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, that's great.
Sorry, she's merchandising her
so tactless. Let's head up towards the park. I kind of just wanted people to see what's going on, but it is a little bit hectic and noisy.
Yeah.
You've seen, I'm sure, the Seinfeld episode. It's the one Seinfeld episode that's been pulled, where Kramer goes to the Puerto Rico Day Parade and throws a cigar in the car and burns the Puerto Rican flag. For some reason, that was controversial. Puerto Ricans hated it, so you can't get it anymore.
Yeah. I don't know how we're going to get across the street here.
Oh, are you not able? Maybe 6th Ave.
We may have to go west, young man.
Yeah.
Unless, yeah, we can do it. We go in this way and go back. Then we wait. Oops. Look at all these cops doing what?
Yeah, I saw a few texting and eating sandwiches as a guy rode by on a bicycle and almost hit me. And I asked them to ask him to get off the bicycle, and they were like, "Huh?"
Yeah, we don't. We just show up. Look at these garbage trucks.
Yeah, to prevent cars from crashing through.
Presented.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember. I think not knowing about this and try having to go up this way, and it taking an extra hour and a half.
Yeah.
Because they're going to hold us here, and they're going to let us maybe cross over there.
Well, we'll get into serious conversation once this all kind of clears up.
As serious as we can.
As serious as we normally would, right. I'm just trying to make sure we are live, in fact. It looks like we are. So, Charles, today we're talking about the murder on the Idiot Express.
Oh, my God.
And it's just a joke, really. Nobody's going to get murdered, we hope. We're certainly not planning to conduct murder.
Right.
But,
well, I think that I was interested in the title because I know the book and the movie very well. And we'll talk more in depth once we get to away from the noise, but as people have read the book and watched the movie know, the ending is that everybody is guilty on the Idiot Express. And that is hence the selection. I know the art department would want to talk about the poster and the countless hours.
Oh, I forgot to do a zoom in video on all the faces, but we can talk about who's on there for sure.
Right. And it really is the team that has been directing the embracement of the New World Order and now possibly the Great Reset. It's the same people, the conflicted people in the Republican and Democratic Party who sent us down, a shit slide into hell. I mean, it's just.
They got a lot of floats at this.
That's all. You can see down to Avenue. There's a float after float after float.
Well, luckily nobody's smoking any weed.
Yeah. All right. Luckily nobody's doing any crank.
Well, I thought that the new thing is Trank. That's in Philadelphia. And then that whole tanker exploded. Good thing I'm not driving on I-95 today.
Yeah, I was going to go.
They're letting us go.
Yeah, cool. Can we go that way?
Yeah.
Can we go that way?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Boy.
Why
I
we're
hate
doing this,
these.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'd be curious to know when the NYPD.
Oh, I see. We have to go around there and back.
Yeah. I'd be curious to know when the NYPD changed department protocol allowing tattoos. That has to be pretty recent.
Right. Well, again,
1950, cops didn't have tattoos.
I mean, I think there was somebody famous who suggested that the way we ought to run the country is just pick people at random and put them in there. I forget who it was who said that. I would adjust that to say what we need to do is do real tests of competence and make sure to pick at random the people who barely finished the test and got every answer wrong. Those are the people that we currently have in charge.
Right.
Throughout the firmament of what remains of our government.
Yeah.
You want to cross the street?
So
More
obviously,
garbage trucks.
there's a ton to talk about, and I know that people have been waiting to hear what you have to say about the indictment of Trump.
Yeah, let's get away from, a little bit further away from the
Yes,
noise.
absolutely. It's too loud over here, and also a lot of that we're going to want to discuss in the First Amendment forum. So now is a good opportunity for people to head over to odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth, crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com, where even if people don't want to sponsor the show, they can read the Twitter coup for free, and that's a very important article to read. You're also going to be able to get the First Amendment forum on subscribestar.com and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. And speaking of Substack, Charles, while people are there, I hope that they will also go to charlesortel.substack.com.
How did Spider-Man get here? I thought Spider-Man was at the premiere of the new movie. That's right.
Spider-Man. Well, actually, yeah, I sent you that article that the Spider-Verse movie, which actually, it's funny, that sort of came about as a result of a complicated business relationship between Sony and Marvel, where Sony had owned the rights to Spider-Man, but because the movies they were making were so crap, and Marvel wanted to use Spider-Man for this big Avengers story they were doing, they sort of share the rights now, and Sony Animation created this Spider-Verse series that's proven very successful. The second movie has already exceeded the entire box office gross of the first, which is pretty unusual. Yeah, look at this crowd, Charles. Wow, now what? Where do we go in the maze?
We're going to be stuck on the opposite side of Central Park, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
No, we got to be able to get in there.
We may have to go. I think this parade goes pretty far north.
Wow. Is it possible to enter the park? I bet you the cops love this. They just stand around. They're like, thank God, no riot.
Well, they're probably getting double overtime or maybe triple overtime.
Well, they don't want to riot on the Puerto Rico parade.
The way government seems to work. We'll talk about serious stuff in a little bit, but you and I were mentioning, I heard Kevin McCarthy say when he was trying to justify to Maria Bartiromo this stupid deal that was passed, he said one of his objectives going forward is to try to get 50% of the government workers to work in the office.
I heard that, yeah.
I'm like, what? I mean, there's no way. If you can do a government job from home, chances are you shouldn't have that job, right? I mean, you're going to be a soldier at home?
Well, right. Charles, has anybody done any kind of study in terms of like what effect on productivity it has from being at home? I can't imagine it's good.
I mean, I think if you're, now what?
I guess let's forget this and go.
Let's go that way.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. No park today, but what should we do? Like the UN or?
Yeah, we can go over to the UN.
Okay.
Most of it's here.
Right. But this will get us closer to a
just-
quiet spot.
Yeah,
quicker.
we'll just head east, see what we find. How come you're not cold?
I was going to wear shorts, but I know how much you dislike
No,
that.
you do.
so
You do.
I should have, because it's a little hot.
I was going to wear an overcoat.
Wear what?
An overcoat.
I figured. And I don't own any seersucker suits.
I do not. I had a very nice double-breasted seersucker suit from Paul Stewart. Very nice when I was in my 20s. But I don't want to look like Colonel Sanders.
I saw a guy wearing a seersucker suit on the walk up and a bow tie
one of those straw hats?
Didn't have the hat, but he had a briefcase, a seersucker. He looked like he was going to the Colonel Sanders trial.
Right.
Or either that, or he could have been.
The Gillette Coon dinner.
Did you see the movie JFK?
I doubt it.
John Candy played a serious role.
Oh, maybe I
in
did see
film.
that. John Candy was great.
And he was super excellent. And then also,
Not again.
I saw that movie when I was like 19 when it came out, and I knew nothing about the JFK assassination when I walked into that theater. But obviously, subsequent to 1991, I've learned quite a bit about it.
Right.
To the extent that even authors of books about the JFK thing have said, "Ooh, you know a lot about this." But I now have seen the video of that district attorney that John Candy was playing, and the performance is so amazingly spot on.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, what a shame that Candy didn't have a longer life, because he was a comedic genius.
And you know what though? When you look at like the last movie he was in,
was that?
everybody remembers he was fat. There's something about like bobsledding or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
He
Jamaican
just was
bobsled.
so enormously overweight. It was almost difficult to believe. Hang on, I don't think we have
Yeah,
light.
right. Yeah.
So all right, we're getting closer to audible levels.
It's like I kind of felt like we were at the Indiana, 500.
Yeah. Do you want to play Baccarat, Charles?
No,
I don't even know how to play that.
I just don't have any interest in gambling. And
I think it's a clothing store.
Oh.
But it's called Baccarat.
Oh.
And I saw a thing in the paper talking about these different licenses for casinos. Luckily, there's going to be no organized crime vying for that.
No, exactly. There's no organized crime in New York City.
And the casinos won't attract more.
I mean,
obviously.
Eric Adams assures us of that. I mean,
Did he say that?
No.
Probably
thing
he
he would
would.
say.
Plant-based casino.
There's no smog in New York City.
Oh, somebody else emailed me, Charles, saying that they don't trust that red smoke and they think it was maybe something else. I don't know. I have no information on that.
Yeah. Well, it certainly was noxious, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that it was.
That was New York.
Let's, yeah.
It's amazing. Just a little distance and the noise
Yeah.
dissipates. Sadly, what happens after this parade every year, there are mountains of garbage. Mountains everywhere.
Yep.
It's typically what family, on the one hand, it's nice that families would gather and go for picnics in Central Park. On the other hand, the practice, and it may have changed, and it's not just confined to people from Puerto Rico, the practice is, bring a cooler filled with food and drink and throw everything on the lawn.
It's really terrible that people just don't have respect for their fellow New Yorkers and keeping the place clean and
Why
making
do that?
it.
Tell them this is racist.
I guess.
So it's a clear sign that New York City is roaring back. You see all these vacant stores on Park Avenue.
Yeah.
This used to be pretty high rent area.
Oh, are we going to
Empty.
pick up your Ferrari
Empty.
SUV right now?
No,
It's around the corner, isn't it?
it's down on 55th Street.
Oh, where are we now? 59th?
Oh, that's good. Good to have that noise going. Not noisy enough around here.
Oh, yeah. That's going to monetize, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I mean, I think back in the day, cops would walk around with billy clubs and say things like, turn that music off.
right. Yeah.
And they just don't want to do anything anymore.
It's funny you should mention that. Actually, in the early 80s, the boom boxes, when the city was in desperate shape, in the late 70s, early 80s, that's when people would walk around with these gigantic boom boxes, and there was graffiti everywhere, and hookers everywhere, and drug use everywhere, and businesses leaving, and negative news constantly.
And that was the benefits of the...
Right. Those are the good parts.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the good aspects of it.
Wow, I can hear myself think again.
God, yeah, that guy with the music.
So in terms of the movie and what we want to talk about, and we'll talk in some depth about, is it was very interesting to contrast, for me to contrast, the way Biden reacted when he finally took a question at that press conference, smiling like the idiot that he is.
Where's the money?
Yeah, but where's the money? He's thinking in quotes that he's being really clever, because he knows, and that's something that the two congressmen on Maria Bartiromo's show were talking about. They purposely routed the money through multiple shell companies around the world to make it difficult for you to follow and figure out how the money was getting to the Bidens.
Luna said the document
Right.
had a quote in it that said it'll take you 10 years to figure it out.
Right.
Comer says we figured it out in 4 months.
Right, and that's guilty knowledge as well, I think.
I
The
agree.
way they structure it, they've done this repeatedly. They probably have the same, collection of asshole accountants and schlock lawyers who can, with no morals. This is a nice book.
I was going to say, this must be something special,
This
right?
is, it's not. You can see by the prices here. It's not. They do have some super high-end stuff, but this is not. If you wanted to fill up a bookshelf in an office or something and make it look as if you'd read a bunch of books, you come over here. And I remember somebody came to the big house that I bought when it was empty. Said, "Well, for X, well, I forget what she said, a linear foot, I can fill up these bookshelves over here." And I looked at it. I said,
With
"I
faux
read."
books, I thought.
Yeah, with fake. Well, no, with real books. But I said, "You don't seem to understand that every book I have, I read."
And has meaning, or
Right.
it's not here.
Right, exactly. But up, in this store, there's a portion of it where you can get very high quality, rare books and prints.
Yeah, the second I saw that sign, my brain said, Charles will know about this place.
There are better places, and
Argosy. Wait a minute. That's the name of the comic book written by a guy named William Barr, a story in a comic book.
oh right,
Not William Barr. What's William Barr's father's name?
I forget.
But there was an Argosy story written by him, and then there's that movie Argo about Ben Affleck being in the CIA and rescuing those people from Iran.
Is
That was called Argo.
Argo, yeah, exactly. This is my least favorite store, Bloomingdale's.
I'm surprised it's not pride flags. Every other place is all covered with pride
It's
flags.
got, but who knows? There probably is. But it's a store. When you go in, they set it up so it's virtually impossible for you to leave without going all over the store.
They should put a casino in there. That's how that usually works.
If knock that down and put his casino there, it'd probably make a lot more money.
But you were saying about Joe Biden and the mens rea, the guilty mind, making stupid jokes because he
Right.
doesn't know what to say.
Right. Well,
He said, "I'm honest."
Well, yeah, right. When you have to, when your defense is "I'm honest,"
You lost.
you've acknowledged that
Yeah.
there's a significant question about your honesty,
Yeah.
which is stupid. Let's walk through the middle of this walking down.
Yeah.
You contrast, the way he reacted, which was idiotic, buffoon. Not even, he wasn't as stupid as being a buffoon, with the way in which Trump reacted.
Right.
To, first of all, Trump wasn't like unsure where he was and only available to take half a question, provided he sort of gets it in advance. Trump immediately went ballistic, the indictment and the timing of it. And then I watched yesterday most of the Georgia speech, which was quickly followed. He got on a plane and flew up to North Carolina and did another speech for an hour and a half.
Didn't trip.
Didn't trip, but more than that, he has a teleprompter, but I think he goes off prompter.
Oh yeah.
And these were virtuoso performances, and you don't even really need to attack Biden. You just put Biden up, and then put Trump up.
Yeah.
And let people judge for themselves. I think we can go through here.
What is this?
This is Bloomberg.
What is it?
Bloomberg.
This is that thing that had the waterfall or something, or no?
Yeah, well, it's not a waterfall. It has there are residences in here, and there's also the Bloomberg offices.
Right. So, but this was your office building at one point, wasn't
Not
it?
my office building. This is
Or-
Bloomberg. So
Never Dylan Reed. I'm thinking of a
no,
different building.
that's back on 54th Street. So that used to be a very fancy French restaurant, but it's been replaced by, I guess, whatever that thing is. That's the entrance to Bloomberg, you see.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Right, and the studios are up here.
Go ask them why they ran. Anyway, never mind.
And a lot of billionaires have apartments in here. I think that building. It's absolutely stunning, actually. It's what happens when a mega billionaire hires an architect and also multiple designers and says, "Listen, I don't care what you spend. Do what you want."
Is this Chinese right here? It looks like it.
I think it could be.
This is going to be a fancy Hitong Hutong.
Yeah. It is. It's probably changed. So, and actually, I have a feeling, well, there's these very expensive wooden structures in the Bloomberg thing, the Easter Island heads.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and probably each one of those cost Michael, or the project, $1 million, and was made by a bunch of people in the interior jungles of Sumatra who got 7 peanuts and an orange each. But I'm making that part up.
He didn't call Thor Heyerdahl and say, give me those heads.
Yeah.
I don't think Thor Heyerdahl kept the heads. He buried them. He dig them up and buried them again, didn't he?
He didn't take the heads. Couldn't take those heads.
They probably weigh too much. But I think they discovered that there's a whole body on the head now.
Is that right, really?
Or something. Something got discovered in Easter Island. We should check.
Yeah.
But we're just a few minutes away here from beginning our conversation in the First Amendment Forum. People are going to be able to join us. You know, Charles, I was telling people yesterday, it's super important to become sponsors of the show, even in the most economical way on Odyssey.com for only $3 a month, because there's so much stuff that I'm doing in addition to, you know, buying food and staying alive every day to make the show, but like filing things and transcripts cost a ton of money. And if people appreciate the counter lawfare efforts and just all of the information that's coming forward, it's very important to become a sponsor, and also to follow Charles on charlesortel.substack.com, and also Twitter. How have you been feeling about Twitter lately, Charles?
Well, I have been using it less than I normally do, but I think it's a very effective way to communicate to the audience that I've built there. But I suspect I'm still being suppressed.
I agree. They've kind of kept you at 31,000, which it seems like that should grow. But people can follow Charles on Twitter at Charles Ortel, and I've been unable to get Twitter to unblock my main at CS The Truth account, so I'm going to still continue to try to do that. But I've been tweeting from at 21C3D. So for people who want to follow me on Twitter, you can do that there. We got about 2 minutes, Charles. Anything you want to take us out with before we start the First Amendment?
Well,
forum?
if you need light bulbs, I know where to go.
Just bulbs? Oh yeah.
Unless they're selling plants.
They used to have that's it. Just bulbs. That used to be next to my office on Broadway, and it's now some fancy restaurant.
So you get a light bulb, and you do unlimited tanning.
Well,
Make it a
you should
big
go
day.
in there and be like, "Do you sell batteries? No. Do you sell lamps? No.
Just checking.
Extension cords? No.
The cheese shop.
You might want to diversify."
Right. Full course episode of the cheese shop. This, I think, used to be. Are we on 58th Street?
I thought 59th.
9th?
I don't know.
58. Yeah, this used to be Felidia, which was a great Italian restaurant.
Korean steakhouse.
Yeah.
What's
there
that
are lots
about?
of them. I don't know.
Maybe that's like cook it in the center of the table yourself.
I just don't know.
Well,
But here we are. This is now 2nd Avenue and 58th Street, and you can just see these. It's just I don't buy the argument that we're stronger
it's time
than
to
ever.
taste these nuts.
Yeah, let's go down 2nd and get in the shade.
Oh, look, the Moonstruck Eatery, Charles.
Yeah, this is.
Sorry.
This has always been a sketchy area in here, you know, in between Sutton Place and Beacon Place and
Litter
Park
and Leash went out of business.
and the European Wax Center.
Just have to give somebody a couple of whacks another way. It's tired of whacking all these Europeans. All right, well, with that, Charles, we're going to now bid our YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey and other viewers adieu as we prepare to enter the First Amendment Forum. Please join us